Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Just,
recording.
Ah, shit.
All right. Cool.
just as Craig announced his presence, you arrived.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do, boys. Finally, we're recording. Everything's good. Awesome. So
And I'm dying of Resident Evil shit. Okay,
why are you
anyway,
playing
sorry.
Resident Evil right now?
I was waiting, okay?
All
I
right,
was listening to an intense story, and I was just fighting some zombies. Fess off.
What
All right.
Resident
So
Evil?
here.
Alright, saved game, we're good.
Are you playing Resident Evil 2 or 4?
I'm playing Resident Evil Remake. And I just
Okay.
saved, so we're good.
All right. See, so this is a good segue into what I want to talk about today. Are video games art, and if so, which ones? I would like to start off by saying Lollipop Chainsaw.
Zelda is a disgrace. It should have never been made.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to stop right there.
It's responsible for all the violence in the world. I mean, you look at all of the shootings that have happened recently, like half of the shooters were totally going for the Link thing.
Yeah,
I mean-
exactly. You know, like by the way that they fucking have the hook shot and the Master Sword on their back along with an AR-15, I totally get what you're going for.
Whip out their ocarina, fly off to the next temple.
Yeah, the next that temple being a
The
church.
next, yeah, church or a school, unfortunately.
Okay, so anyway, we're getting off topic and talking about dark shit. Let's fucking get back.
All right, listen, Jeff. Hey, listen, Jeff. Anyway, so
Yeah.
when you speak of video games being art, are you talking about like storytelling, visuals? Like, are you want the entire package, or like each game
Yeah,
based on a certain type?
Well, you know, if we're talking about, you know, gameplay and everything based on art in that degree, I would say something like Red Dead Redemption 2. Because Red Dead
Okami.
Redemption Okami, that's another good one.
That game is fantastic.
But no, I mean, like, it differs. If it really depends on what you want. Like if we're talking story but really shit gameplay, I would say Azura's Wrath. Azura's Wrath had really like bare bones minimum gameplay, but it had an amazing story. And
One,
uh,
go ahead.
go ahead, man.
I was gonna say one thing that kind of when people kind of say an art story game, they throw up something like Heavy Rain, and I think it tells a great story about bad parenting.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love Heavy Rain, but Heavy Rain, if you look back on it now, is just so janky.
Yeah, it really, at the time it was like, oh my god, but you look back at it now, it's like, oh god.
Look at the way they kiss; their mouths aren't even touching.
One of my Go ahead.
No, it's your turn.
one of my favorite games, based on just like visuals and just the story and like trying to figure out what is going on, is BioShock.
BioShock, man. I have so much to say about BioShock. That was one of the games I was gonna have a fucking topic on, actually, Dylan. BioShock is without a doubt one of the best games of all time, and the reason that it has such a fucking cult following is because it throws you into this fucking world, and it started off, it was a literal survival horror game.
That's why I love the first one.
The visuals from the beginning have never failed.
That is still to this
The fact
day
that the
one of
remastering,
really
the fact that the remaster alone is like, how did they made this even better somehow?
And if we're fucking talking about fucking games that are art, you know, back to BioShock again, fucking that was the first and only game for the PlayStation 3 to run at 1080p, 60 frames a second. Only game.
Really?
Yes, look it up. It is the only game that the fucking PlayStation 3 can run at 60 frames a second.
Fun fact, BioShock 4 is in the works.
Yeah, but it's not BioShock 4, Dylan.
I'm guessing they're trying to say Infinite is 3.
Well, Infinite isn't 3 because it's not a fucking sequel or prequel to BioShock. It's literally like, oh, let's take the idea of...
If it doesn't have a number in the name, it's not 3.
It's BioShock Infinite.
Yep.
I'm just trying to think of what the developers are trying to like come up with. That's what I'm thinking they're going to try and say.
They should call it fucking BioShock Electric Boogaloo. I love that shit.
Like BioShock Infinite like, it did not pull any punches.
BioShock Infinite is great.
I
Mhm.
was
But
proud of that. The pacing, I don't know, the pacing around the end half of the game, things move so fast, but that's kind of a good thing in a way because it's a game where you want things to be more fleshed out so that you can have more to experience, you know? But like when you're just going from timeline to timeline, it's like, oh, but I want to see how this plays out in the end, or oh, I want to see how this goes.
I felt like the Comstock thing kind of fucking happened right out of nowhere.
Mhm.
I liked the ending, but keep in mind, I played it when it was, and I'll give you a little story, okay? I try to stay away from personal stories on this because then we could talk forever, and it's not about that. It's about something people can relate to, I guess. But I played BioShock in 2013 when it came out, and I lost a friend in 2013, somebody very close to me, and I spent all this time playing, and I wanted to see a story turn out where the main character lives because I was so at the time in 2013 and 2014 because I believe I actually played it in 2014. There were a lot of movies out there where the main characters always get the shit end of the stick. Interstellar, fucking goddamn BioShock Infinite, fucking they're just always shit. There's always fuck, and I wanted to see I wanted to play a game.
Yeah.
What's up?
I said Shadow of the Colossus is another example.
I was
Shadow
going to
of the
bring that
Colossus-
up after this conversation.
Okay, but anyway, yes, you guys are gonna get. I have ADHD really bad. You guys are gonna have to keep me on topic. No, I got really mad because at the end he's like, "You are Booker," or it's like, "You are Booker DeWitt. You are Comstock," and he's like, "No, I'm both." And it's like, wait. So you went back in time to sell your daughter to your future self, but it's not really you. It was a you that was born when you decided to become baptized, but you yourself didn't do the baptism. So, but you're not actually the Booker that goes and gets your daughter. You're a different Booker DeWitt, somebody who's completely washed what they did away. It's so fucking convoluted and confusing,
Mhm.
and I feel like BioShock sucks its own dick right at the last 20 minutes mark. You know, like there's always a lighthouse.
That's what people were pissed off about. That's where they were like hashtag free white people from BioShock Infinite, because it's like even if you didn't do anything in this timeline, the mere fact that you exist and possibly have the capability of doing something, there is a chance for more timelines of oppression to open up, and therefore you have to be erased from existence entirely and every
Exactly.
timeline. And you're like, well, that's fucked up.
Right.
No,
So
that's not
nobody's right. So does that mean I'm never going to be a hero?
Yeah.
Like
Like,
nobody's ever
you
going
are
to know
a
who I am.
hero, you are a hero, but because of the fact that you were just of that gene, you're guilty by association, and therefore you have to die in every perceivable reality.
Well, if that's the fucking that's like saying in one fucking reality, you know, Sully, you're a murderer, but you only kill women.
Yeah,
And
it's
So,
the one
Jack the
timeline
Ripper.
I'm the Black Onision, and
oh
now
god, okay.
I'm
We will get to Onision. Give me 1 second. Okay. Shadow of the Colossus. We're gonna fucking end. Okay, so yes, video games are art because of that. I love how the whole video games are art discussion or us naming off different games and us going, I like that one.
Well,
no.
we're giving our reasons why, though. That's the thing. I mean,
And that's what I'm saying. The Shadow of the Colossus is. I'm sorry. Give that controller to anyone, explain the controls to them, and then let them go find the first Colossus for themselves and watch every one of them. Even my wife, who doesn't play video games, the first time she saw Shadow of the Colossus, she went, "Whoa!" Everybody has a fucking Disneyland moment with Shadow of the Colossus.
that was me last year.
I started to get it when I was little. I started to play it, but the fucking dude at Game Craze was like, "Oh, that game's too hard. You should play something else." Then he put fucking Glover in my hand for the N64. Wherever you are now, I don't care if you're in a fucking wheelchair. Fuck you, dude.
Okay, so on the topic of what video games aren't art, the video games where people don't try, and there can be pretty video games out there that don't do anything, and I'm just gonna say it. Quantum fucking Break. Quantum Break is not art because Quantum Break is somebody made a video game and then they stuck fucking 45 hours of TV shows in it.
True.
That's why I have yet to play it.
I played Quantum Break. I sat down and played it. But onto a different subject, because I've noticed we're naming games that came out in around 2003 and such. Well, I'm going to name a game that actually came out on the original Xbox. Knights of the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic 2 I'm playing through right now on my Xbox One, and those games.
Special shout out to my life mistakes. I have to get the Lawbreakers tattoo removed. I also have to get
You have a tattoo for Lawbreakers.
No, he's fucking with
and
you.
on the back
I was about to say.
I got the logo for like Vault 76 on the back of my neck, and I'm really starting to regret that.
Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. I still have friends who like will defend Fallout 76, and it's like, dude, they still pay. They pay for the atoms. They sit there.
Oh my god.
They pay for the fucking the microtransactions, and they play the fucking like battle royale mode, and they're like, "No, dude, it's a good game." People just shit on it because it's Todd Howard, and I was like, "No."
See, here's the thing.
Skyrim.
No, we love Todd. We just hate the direction he's going in.
Yes,
Money.
He's taking great things, but he's got like a fucking.
I like money.
Here's my thing, though. Like, when Skyrim came out, I, like everybody else, was like, this game is amazing, this game is fantastic. And then after playing games like The Witcher, like Witcher 3, I'm like, and then I go back to Skyrim, and I'm like, this is janky as fuck.
Well, I never actually, and people are going to shit on me because of this. I've had The Witcher since it came out, and I never had a chance to play it because it's one of those games that are intimidating, and I like first-person games.
I just take it a bit at a time. I just do a little tiny bit at a time. I'm like, I know I'm not going to beat this within a day or two, obviously, but
I dove the fuck into it, man. I dove the fuck into it, and let me tell you right now, somebody better toss a coin to that fucking Witcher. Okay? Because I am fucking into this. That game is one of the prettiest, one of the most dynamic fucking. Every character I talk to has a personality. Even somebody who's named Barmaid. She's like, "Don't be coming around here no more, Lord. I can't be having these Gordian men around here." It's like the way she talks, it's like you will not find another character, like you won't find any recycled dialogue. Versus Skyrim, where every character you talk to is like, something.
In some games, especially in the Fallout series, it's really bad.
Everything.
Oh yes.
Everything.
Yeah.
No, yes, Fallout is. I've been trying to play Fallout 4, and Sully and I will talk about it a lot. We can't play Fallout 4 without mods.
It's offensive. Fallout 4 is offensive. Straight up offensive. Here's a great example. Here's the beginning, right? You know it was made for the fans, that fucking dude who's like, "Oh, them graphics, though." That's exactly who it was fucking made for. You know why? Because when you start the fucking game, they put dog meat at a gas station called the Red Rocket because they know you dick ride. So you have the dog right there for you. What the
worst
fuck?
Versus when you find dog meat in Fallout 3, you have to fucking take out an entire thing of scavengers. Then you find dog meat also fighting an entire fucking thing of raiders. And you're like...
He's never in your face like that.
No. He's right down the fucking road, and it's like, "Hey, boy, let's go." Like, the dog's just like, "Okay, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth and kill anyone you look at wrong." Fuck that.
It's the most backwards ass Fallout, literally backwards ass Fallout game. It's
so yes, Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, art. Fallout 4, Fallout 76, not art.
No.
See, Fallout 70.
Go ahead.
Fallout 76 makes me scared for the inevitable Elder Scrolls 6.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
no. Fallout 76. When it came out, when it was announced, the first thing I said is, how? Todd Howard's like 4 times as large, 8, and all this other shit, and I was like, yeah, but it's released in a fraction of the time that Fallout 4 was released in. You're either cutting major corners or you're going to butt fuck it with microtransactions to cover the deficit of this.
Oh, and that was a lie, by the way. You can walk the Fallout 74 or Fallout 76 map like within 20-25 minutes.
So I said it's either it's 4 times as expensive with microtransactions, or it's 4 times as empty, because you remember the pyramid of quality. You can have it quick and effective, but you sacrifice like the cost, or you can have it like cheap and easy, but you lose quality.
I
You
would
can't.
rather have a small map in a video game where everything is packed with something to do. That's why I enjoy going to the cities in The Witcher, because there's always something to do. And I'm going to bring it back to The Witcher and Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. Dylan, you've played a lot of Fallout, right?
No.
Okay, but you've played a lot of Skyrim and Oblivion too.
Skyrim was. I'm gonna be castrated for this. Skyrim was my first Elder Scrolls.
What?
Hold on,
Jeff, you got okay. Let me clarify this.
I apologize for the people listening to the podcast. We've made some mistakes.
Okay, let me give some backstory here. I lived in a household where gaming was like, it's just for children. He'll grow out of it. So I only got what my father allowed me to get. I was basically a Nintendo child until 2006.
Yeah.
So all my experience was ever on whatever came out on Nintendo consoles. I did not experience anything like I didn't taste PlayStation 2 until the PlayStation 3 was out.
Oh, that's right, because you ended up buying your own consoles once you hit.
Oh yeah, and then I was like, hey, Dad, he was like, all right, what do you want? Like, pretty much Christmas was the only time I got anything like really gaming related. So like that'd be the time to ask for consoles. So I was like, oh, PS3's coming out. Hey, Dad, I didn't know about prices or anything at the time. I was like 11 or 12. I was like, Dad, can you get the PS3 for me for Christmas? And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Oh, PS2 is $100 right now. There you go, son.
Oh, damn.
And then I saw that it was $600 for the PS3 launch. I was like, oh, I get it. And then, but that's Jeff. That's why I have a 360. That's why I have primarily Xbox stuff, because my dad got me a 360 the following Christmas because it was like on sale or whatever at the time.
That's right. Okay.
That's why I primarily have Xbox stuff, but I can easily say that PlayStation has better exclusives. Microsoft, step your game up.
I gotta say, I'll tell this really quick story. When I was a kid, about 2001, 2002, I think it was 2001 actually, because it was the same year that the towers fell. Unfortunately, I remember that. So I was about 6, and my parent, my mom and my stepdad, they got me for Christmas the fucking PlayStation 2, brand new, big fat fucking thing with a copy.
The big fatty.
Yeah, with a copy of Dark Cloud and a samurai fighting game I cannot remember the name of, and Deuce Bigelow Male Gigolo on DVD. Don't ask me why.
My console story is great. Started with the Sega Genesis. I was going to tell you my console graduation and why I moved to PC eventually.
Oh, go ahead.
So I started. Let me just get this door. I started with Sega Genesis. My uncle had it. Playing X-Men games and stuff like that. Mom got me a console, Nintendo 64. Then, when I got the PlayStation 2, playing shit like Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, loved them. Loved the fuck out of them. Then, the PlayStation 3 came out. We had a problem. I was impatient. I wanted the next-gen game, but we didn't have enough for the PlayStation 3 at the time. Because it was like, $599 US. Does everybody remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it got to a price drop where it came down to, it was $400 about. And I was like, but I don't have $400. I have $299.90, like I have $300 pretty much exactly. So I was like, do I want the PlayStation 3 or do I want the Xbox 360? And I was impatient. I got the Xbox 360. So I'm playing it for a while. Xbox Live cost money. I was like, okay, that's fair. Whatever. Red Ring of Death, after it scratched up one of the games I was really looking forward to because it tilted the wrong way slightly. I heard the shredding noise and I was like, what the fuck is that? I open it up, my game is ruined. I take it to GameStop, and they're like, wait, you can't do anything with it? So they're like, no, buy another game. All right. It was Fallout 3 that got scratched up.
Oh.
Then it got the red ring of death, and it was over. And I said, ah. And if that wasn't a fuck you enough, we find out that the PlayStation 3 got a price cut and was now $300. And I said, ah.
Oh.
And so that next Christmas, Mom was like, hey, we know how much you love console games, so we got you another Xbox 360. And I said, thanks. Thanks.
Oh my god, dude, I have a story just like that. My stepdad, he fucking brought me home a game from a fucking garage sale that was like a Wile E. Coyote's like sheep run or whatever for the PlayStation 1, and I had to play.
I know. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, did you have to hide from the big sheepdog itself, and it catch you and just run up and just I had the demo for that, and I played the hell out of it when I was little.
I couldn't play it. He brought it to me with a big old mustache, big old smile, bald ass head, all proud of himself. Fucking, he's like, I got you something from the garage sale. He's just the most dad person ever, and I'm like, yeah. And then he hands me a PlayStation 1 game, and I don't have a PS1 or a PS2 at the time, and Xbox 360. I was like, thanks, Dad. And I just like gave it to my cousin, and he was so upset because I told him I couldn't play it, and he was like, oh. And I didn't want
the best. The best part of our conversation right now is we're not even talking about how video games are art.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, next thing. Okay, so we're getting off topic. We basically talked about how we all love video games.
Okay.
Let's change into something else.
No, we got one more game that we got to talk about. Jeff, we were talking about it earlier. For me, it's one, like, I mean, it won, I think it was Sony, like, just Sony Journal voted as Game of the Decade. Last of Us.
Oh my god! I could talk forever about The Last of Us. Stop. Okay, let me tell you. What?
I haven't played The Last of Us.
I was literally just about to ask you if you have. Look, I still have the first 10 minutes of that game burned into my brain, where I was, how I experienced it. I immediately called my buddy, who let me borrow his PlayStation 3 to play this game while he was working a double shift that day. And I told him, you come over to my house as soon as you're done working. We are playing this. I've got pop. I got snacks. You're staying the night. We're playing this. And, oh wow. Such a good game.
Remember, I rented the game.
If you really think about it, video games aren't really just art. They're an art convention. You have visual arts, you have narratives, and you have sound design. It's really where a bunch of art comes together to make something that's truly fucking spectacular.
And that's why I always point people to Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar stepped their fucking shit. And I'm not talking about the online, I'm talking about the story. Arthur Morgan, to me, feels like a real person who existed back then. Everybody back then feels real and alive. The story feels like something that could have happened. I mean, like, yeah, you got some things that are over the top, like you do with every story, but it's like, it's something that by the end, a grown man, was in tears, fucking, and many games have gotten me like that, but I'm talking like, I didn't feel accomplished because I played Red Dead Redemption 1 and I knew what was going to happen. So it was a game that left me feeling not empty but also satisfied. Like my character, I don't want to give away what happened to anybody who hasn't played it, but it's one of those games that genuinely make you feel, I don't know, just you can't describe the feeling.
I know exactly what you mean, man. But question: has everybody in here played Borderlands 3? At least a little bit.
Yeah.
Crickets. I have yet to get to it. Unfortunately, I rarely have the money to be able to go get new games. I've heard fantastic things about it, though.
You've played Borderlands.
I've played a little bit of the first two Borderlands, only when my buddy wanted to play it.
I'll say that I'll say this. Play Borderlands 3 with the mentality that someone in there is fucking the program director, and one of their self-insert characters is kind of somewhere in the story. Just have that in mind when you play through Borderlands 3. But the gameplay is fantastic. It really takes what made 2 fun and ramped that up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
mean, the characters are great when they're not being.
No, the characters in Borderlands 3, they fucked them up. They fucked it up.
I played the DLC the other day.
Oh shit! I forgot the DLC is free. I gotta go back.
I'm not gonna give it away because it's not really a spoiler because he shows up in the first 10 minutes. But Timothy, Handsome Jack's doppelganger, is like a main character. It's like
spoilers. I'm just kidding.
So Damian Clark, who voiced Handsome Jack, who is one of the best motherfuckers in voice acting, one of the best villains of all time, fucking comes back, and he has like the mentality of Jack, because like he has the voice modulator that's like fucking with his brain.
Yeah.
So he's been hiding like for years. It's like really cool. They definitely like listen to the complaints because there's no Eva, there's only Timothy, Moxie, and Jack.
I love how seamlessly they set up for Borderlands 4.
I don't think Ava's gonna be a character anymore. I think they're gonna kill her off as soon as Borderlands 4 happens.
If they listen to the fans, they will. But like that's the problem too, is I think some bullshit's gonna happen where I don't know. All I'm gonna say is I think we're gonna get Maya back. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say any more on that because people listening might not have played Borderlands 3.
Okay, so let's do a little segue here. I'm really bad at segues, so we're gonna talk about something else. All right. Onision is shit. Has anybody been following what is going on with fucking Onision, dude?
I haven't watched Onision in at least 4 years.
But do you have any idea what's happening right now?
I'm assuming he's falling apart and like a lot of personal stuff's coming out, I'm guessing.
Oh, bud.
No, man. This shit's been going on for a long time. He's like the last Jedi's, or the Rise of Skywalker's Palpatine, where he's fucked himself up numerous times before, but he just keeps coming back because he's like cloned or some shit. Like, I was one of the people that followed him before the Christina Grimmie shit happened, and all of that. I was watching some of his content, like after the I'm a Banana shit. And then he got political, and that's when I started trolling in the comment section. And his fans they're the kinds of people that would, like if someone were to say that they were Jim Jones too, they would go on board without question. Like they are shit.
It's fucked, dude. Like it's to the point where, okay, so Onision, Greg, we're gonna call him Gerd. So Gargle is responsible for grooming multiple underage girls along with his wife/husband Kai. And people call her him
Wait. Wife/husband?
I'm getting to that. People call Kai trans, and I don't think Kai is trans. The reason I say that is because Kai wears makeup, cuts her hair short, and likes girls. So is obviously a tomboy. She doesn't want to be a man. She wants to be a woman. She is disrespectful to the trans community, and I honestly, I'm not trans. I'm a straight guy, but I have multiple friends who are.
God, Jeff. How could you, a straight man, tell someone what?
No, let me tell you right now, okay? I get so fucking worked up because I see her. She sits there and she puts on makeup and she's like, "This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do." Blah 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 blah. And then it's like everybody's talking about this. Like Chris Hansen, the pedophile slayer, the man him goddamn son, has been doing fucking interviews with all the victims, including Shiloh, one of Greg's wives, like Billy, a girl groomed by Greg when she was underage, another girl, Rachel, just a bunch of people. Like Chris Hansen has like 6 or 7 interviews out, each like an hour long. Like he's attacking Onion Boy. Berg has no idea what to do. So you know what he's doing? Him and Kai are posting fucking videos on Onision's channel of him just losing his mind. He's faking it like, oh, we're going through a divorce, we're doing this, but he's also playing the card of, oh, married people can't testify against each other, married people can't do this, married people can't do that. And I find it ironic that he's bringing that up right after an episode of Shameless brought it up. Really good timing, Greg. Really good.
But see, the problem with Onision is this is a person that is a parasite. He's got a very bad antisocial personality disorder. And that said, he does his research on his enemies so that he can exploit them and exploit their fans using other people. Now, Chris Hansen is not going to leave a dent on Onision. His involvement is going to be as effective as Mr. Repsion's, if not even more ineffective, because Chris Hansen doesn't wipe his own ass. Because he's got this fucking idiot Vic that's fucking his credibility and ruining everything. So Onision can play the, well, what do you have on me when you have all this stuff in your past, Chris, and you're working with a con artist? Yeah, Chris Hansen's boy Vic, who handles his YouTube, is kind of like in a bunch of shit right now.
Well, damn.
Did I cut out?
No.
Yeah. So if Onision really buckles down and goes to war with Chris Hansen, Chris has given him a lot of fuel to fight back with.
Okay. So basically,
Jeff, did you just crack a Dr. Pepper?
I did. So shit's about
I know you so well. Well, yeah, anytime Jeff pulls out Dr. Pepper, it's about to get real. Every time.
Okay. Here's the motherfucking tea on Onision. So, Kai, Kai is Greg's wife. Sorry for anybody listening who might get fucking offended by me. Sorry. They're gonna get upset, and they're gonna realize that. I hope they watch the videos and they don't defend her, because she is a parasite, and she is not somebody who deserves any love whatsoever, because she was a victim, but has now had several chances to leave, several opportunities. And I don't care what anyone says, oh, she can't, you don't know, you can't victim blame. No, because now she is also responsible for grooming underage women. And every single one of them, everybody on the Chris Hansen interview has come out and stated that she is a fucking despicable human being as well. And I love how every time somebody asks, where was Kai during this? They always say crying. Yeah, keep crying, bitch. It bothers me.
But do you see, this is where the politics runs deeper than what's on the surface. The people's vilification of Kai is exactly what Onision wants. He's going to put her in that position. Remember, his end game is to make someone kill themselves so that he can turn it against the people that cast the stones. When you hate Kai, which, don't get me wrong, Kai is despicable for letting themselves get into this situation. So are all the fans that still support Onision. They're just as guilty as Kai. However, they haven't been close enough to Onision to where he could reach in and weaponize them like he has with Kai.
It's worse because
he's got shit to turn against her, more like a mountain of it.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why he's getting a divorce. He's playing it off like they are getting a divorce on his fucking channel. He's making it seem like he's literally insane. Have you seen his video where he's like, wow, you guys went to the FBI and it didn't work, and then he pours fucking kombucha all over himself? Love that video, by the way. I refuse to watch any Onision videos. I only watch people who cover Onision because then I'm watching the entire video and somebody ripping him apart, so it's like a fucking plus. And I'm not giving him any clout. But this guy fucking he's making it seem like he's insane, and then he's turning you're right, he's gonna turn everything on his wife. He's hoping that his wife is gonna kill herself because she's a fucking psychopath, or he's a fucking psychopath. He's a goddamn psychopath. I'm sure of it.
And you think about this. Onision gets his dirt on people before he throws them away. When he needs someone to divert that blame upon, and it's the same thing with politics. People can say that they're not interested in politics, but opinions are like memes. They're contagious. Your friends, through their expression of sentiments, can embed subliminals in your mind. Like, it's like with Twilight, Justin Bieber, or Donald Trump. No one's heard a speech or a word that Donald Trump has said, yet everyone unanimously agrees that he's a racist man. Take Twilight, for example, when it was the thing, or Michael Jackson before he died. He was a fucking pedophile that raped Macaulay Culkin. When the news says he's the king of pop, he's the king of pop, and all of the haters have mysteriously vanished.
Right.
He can use that kind of tactic on Kai easily. When Kai is Onision's ex, well, who's the bad guy? Onision has this dirt dump that he can fan around, and people like you and me, who despise Kai as it's set up, will fan those flames, and it's going to be like, well, Onision is kind of old news, but let's look at his partner in crime who's now thrown to the wolves, and when we start attacking, it diverts.
Right, and I guess the thing that I hate Onision more because it's like Kai was a victim, and now she's not. She is now his partner in this all, because everybody who has come forward has stated that it was Greg who would get mad. They wanted a relationship with Kai. Greg would get mad, and then they would leave.
Mm-hmm.
Except Billy, who did stay and had a relationship with Greg, or Shiloh, who was married to Greg before the whole thing came out. And it's like, when this all happens, you got to realize every one of these girls, when they came into contact with Greg, were 15 to 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And including Kai herself. And now Kai has become the one grooming girls who are 15 to 17. She went from being a victim to now being a predator. And Greg is a groomer, meaning Greg is responsible for all of this hate. Can you imagine how normal all these girls' lives would be had Onision not been around? It would have, and I know you can't say, well, what if, but he is literally a monster. There are several accusations against him, several controversies. This man is walking free. What he did to the wetlands alone should put him in jail. And he's tiptoeing around it, and to pass blame onto somebody else, let alone his own partner, which, yes, I am absolutely sure he is going to do, it's baffling that he hasn't been arrested. So the fact that Chris Hansen, of all people, has to step in and be like, yo, I gotta fucking slay this pedo, somebody hand me my goddamn axe, son. It's just baffling to me, dude. Like, I do not understand how it has gotten to this point, and the fact that these people are allowed to roam free.
But here's another problem with the Chris Hansen angle, and this is where his credibility, again, because of Vic in part, is shot. A lot of people, when they hear Chris Hansen getting involved, they're not, oh, I'm going to go slay me a pedo. It's, oh, I can take down this former YouTube juggernaut and become relevant and get some monetization on YouTube if I take down this bad guy that everybody's against. That's how Chris Hansen.
See, and I'm looking at Chris Hansen as, when I was watching him, I didn't get that. I didn't actually see that. And I get where you're coming from, because with the whole Mr. GG thing, I was watching his interview and he seemed so disingenuous the whole time. But this is a couple years later, And now Chris has come out and he's trying so hard. The way he speaks to these victims, the way that he talks, it's different. It's not the same. It's a more genuine man. And I get that. I genuinely feel like he is trying to help. I don't feel like he is trying to just get clout. And if he does get clout, that's fine. He's on TV. I'm sure it helps him. But that being said, he is genuinely helping.
And I would say, even so, it's a noble thing to stake your career on if it's getting justice for the victimized. And
Exactly.
Even if some of them intentions are a bit malign, I'm not going to sit there and throw that around too much. It's not Keemstar levels of bad. Okay, Keemstar, terrible, but but like
that's somebody else we'll talk about.
No, when it comes to people like Kai, for example, as far as the guilt for them being like I would say what they're doing is wrong, but I don't allocate hatred towards Kai. It would be because you have to look at it in the situation of you've heard of the 10-year-old transgender, 12-year-old male, I think, Desmond Napolis.
Yes.
You talk about someone who is groomed. And not just groomed by people with money, groomed by people who have friends in law. A kid that young, should he turn into a pedophile, like the people that raised him, you have to wonder where his moral guidance comes from. Where is the angel at that transition of age at 18 years old when he's fully accountable? Where is that angel to come from the sky and tell him right from wrong? If this is all he's known, it's really fucked up. And that's why I don't hate Kai, but what they're doing is disgusting, and the people that have made them that way should suffer tenfold, and that's the real tragedy of it.
Exactly. That's why I hate Greg. Have you read any of his books?
Lord. I've heard them read.
So in his third book, he has a sex scene with a minor. Both of them self-insert characters, and I just want to point out that he fucks God and then kills him.
No, he just kills God. He gets into a conflict with God, and the God above God is a woman, which was weird. But,
oh no, I'm sorry, I messed that up. He fucks an alien and kills God.
Yeah. Reaper's
there you
Creek.
go.
The character apparently has an ability to see dead bodies wherever they are.
That sex scene with the minor is his daughter.
Dylan, what's your take on all this? You've been quiet.
I'm just taking in all this information.
I was just going to say, he's taking it all in. He's going to let us know what he thinks when we're done talking, because I'm sure he's going to be like, motherfucker.
I mean, realistically, my head's just going, what in the fuck?
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay, so here's another thing. His daughter, he has a kid.
Wait, someone actually procreated with Greg.
He is a fucking walking paradox. He's the incel that people have slept with. Multiple people. I don't get it.
My question is, where the fuck is the law in all of this? What the fuck is going on?
He has admitted to having, and that's the thing. They showed up at his house. The FBI showed up at his house to arrest him and check his computer. He sat there. He spouted the law. He spouted the age of consent in every fucking state that there is. He sat there and they fucking checked his hard drive. There was nothing.
He's got money that he's not telling people about. Because that shit from the wetlands, he should be in bars for that.
Definitely.
Okay, that's the second. Okay, time out. That's the second time I've heard wetlands mentioned. Can someone explain that to me?
Okay, so the wetlands. Go ahead.
The wetlands are a very volatile and very fragile ecological anomaly where you have very loose mud that's under layers of water, and it's very sensitive to where if you dig that up and shit falls in, you're supposed to just leave it there. But if you deforest, if you just shovel land, it could cause ripple effects to where you have landslides, You have poisoned water supplies. You could break a dam without knowing it. It's very fragile.
And
if you,
I just want to point out poison water supplies. He poisoned an entire small town.
yes, because he was digging in the wetland.
And then
He wanted to make it ironic.
when they oh no, didn't do it once. Did it twice.
Yeah, and there was a video of him just bulldozing whole trees.
Literally bulldozing.
With a fucking bulldozer that he owns and drives like big ass chunks of dead wood into the water.
Meanwhile, there's a fucking family like, Mama, why can't we drink? Why can't I bathe?
Look
Fucking-
across. It's like, you see that asshole over there with the bulldozer? That's why.
Yeah, fucking dickhead.
That's what I'm calling. We're gonna
So
move.
now we get to the fucking bread and butter of it all. It comes down to they finally have enough evidence. They're building a case. The pedo slayer is going to ask fucking Onion Boy in his banana suit to take a fucking seat, and I am so excited. In other news, fucking Pro Jared actually fucking refuted all the claims against him and had evidence to back it up and fucking got his career back. I am so goddamn happy that
Here's what's
What's up?
crazy. Here's what's fucking crazy. Vic Mignogna can hug a fan and have his career ended. But what the fuck is up with it? Like, how the fuck is Onision still alive?
because he wears oh, we didn't even get to the Christina Grimmie thing, dude. I don't know why I'm talking about Pro Jared right now. Christina Grimmie was a fucking very talented singer who got third place on The Voice, and then she was tragically shot multiple
No,
times.
okay.
by a fan.
Jeff. She wasn't known from like a lot of people knew her from YouTube. Her covers. She was
I know,
an incredible
but she
singer.
got-
She was very talented.
Yes, but she also came. But she also came in third place on The Voice.
True,
what
which
I mean.
unfortunately that's where people know her from, and I know her from I think her name was like something Zelda something, and that's how I knew her.
We're the real
Yeah.
fans who were there before The Voice. That's
Yeah, I remember watching this off track, but I remember watching that episode where she debuted, and I'm like, is that Christina Grimmie?
Actually-
Holy shit, that's Christina Grimmie!
Actually, if I'm being honest, I first remember her from her video with Noah Guthrie,
Yeah.
and then I saw her on The Voice. But I never followed her YouTube channel until after I found out that she died, because I was really blown away. I was like, oh yeah, I do recognize her. And
One of
it bothers me that he took that. It was a very tragic event, and he took it on Twitter to say, yeah, this is why God isn't real. She dead. She died. This is why I wear a bulletproof vest to every fucking con. This is why your God isn't real. Blah blah blah. Like, what a fucking terrible person, right?
Like,
And he's getting all this hate, but he's also getting clout.
I can see Onision just randomly one day going into a funeral home, not even his family, and pushing the priest off to the side and being like, there is nothing, your loved one's in oblivion, there is nothing after this, you are all sheep, and then fucking walks out.
I wouldn't be
That's-
surprised.
That is an Onision thing to do. And then he would proceed to try and fuck one of the living relatives. in the
My
hallway.
favorite is Greg. thinks
Probably a
that he-
15-year-old.
He is so smart, but he has claimed, and I quote, said, I like underage girls, or I like girls who are just developing. He has said that on multiple podcasts. He
Because
has
they're easy to
stated-
manipulate.
He knows
Yes.
he's rich. He knows his resources. That's
I'm
the
sorry.
problem. That's the
My
problem.
favorite video, by the way, of Greg is, he's on a fucking live stream. I think he's playing League of Legends, or no, I think he was playing Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, he was playing Grand Theft Auto online, and this guy's telling a story, and Greg shuts down and stops talking. He has like a really, I think he has an accent, and the girls in the live stream are like talking, and he's like, ha ha ha, anybody want to play League? And they're like, oh, we logged out.
If you
Like,
if you had to spend one lunch, like a lunch date with one of the really bad failed YouTubers, out of Onision, Elliot Rogers, Randy Stair, or Mr. Anime, which would you choose to spend an afternoon with?
Okay, a little backstory. Mr. Anime shot his family because he didn't want them to get upset when when he shot up a fucking store, or when he shot up a Walmart, I believe, and he didn't end up going to Walmart. He got arrested.
It was like a, I can't remember the market.
Randy Slater was a transgender animator who thought that a ghost girl named Mackenzie was going to be waiting for him in hell.
He killed a bunch of people to fuck a Danny Phantom character on the other side
that he had made up.
Yes, he wanted to fanfic, and so he killed a bunch of people thinking that it would be awarded to him in the afterlife.
Yes, and then Elliot Rogers was a incel who was like, "Why don't girls like me?" And he killed 6 people throughout like a day and a half, just random people, and then killed himself.
So like, which one?
But not to get like on a serious topic, but it's like stuff like that. But then but no one takes mental health seriously after a certain like age. There's like no, that's crazy.
It's bullshit.
These were people who didn't want to get help. These were people who straight up just hated everything, you know? Like they hated women, they hated men, they hated everything. And they didn't want to get help. No, at no time did they ever try to get help. And
but you gotta understand, with those kinds of disorders, it's like a self-awareness thing.
I like how you said if I had to choose a lunch with failed YouTubers, you didn't say serial killers. Every one of them were serial killers.
I said really bad failed YouTubers. If you want to make it less dark, I'd be like, okay, Low Tier God, DSP, or Wings of Redemption.
Okay, I'll make it way better for you. How about this? Ray William Johnson. Okay. Ray William Johnson, Pioneer Productions, or the old Keemstar. Oh my God. Leafy is here.
Leafy is here as a fucking douchebag. I mean, I was a fan, but like, okay, but now. You know who's worse though? Mr. Black Darkness 666. I asked you a question a long time ago. If you ever hear this podcast, I asked you, why did you choose Satan? Because I was curious. You never got back to me. Remember that? Now that Leafy is here, gave you a blowjob, now you think you're the fucking shit. Fuck you, dude.
What?
Why Satan?
What?
I was in a DM with Mr. Black Darkness 666 way before the Leafy shit, personally. And he's like, what would you like to know about me? And I was like, yes, what draws you to Satan? And he never got back to me. I was a fan.
Oh, he's calling out a YouTuber right now.
Shit.
You don't know about Mr. Black Darkness 666?
No, I've never heard about that dude.
He was that dude who was like in the original Cringe compilations where there were kids that were bullying him because he was goth. And he was like, you see the shit I have to go through every fucking day. And he's smoking a cigarette, walking down, and people are calling him Ghostface and shit like that. And I was like,
this dude still uploads.
Yeah, so I went to his channel and I was like, oh, this dude has a YouTube channel. And he's a Satanist. He's one of those edgy Satanists too. So we'd be like,
oh dude, I'm gonna fucking tag every single shit YouTuber we are fucking talking shit about in this fucking shit on Twitter. I'm gonna be like, Mr. Black 666. I'm gonna fucking tag Onision. Oh, dude, this is gonna be fun.
But because of Mr. Black 666, that's where everyone got that idea of, if I start shit with a bigger YouTuber, the fame's gonna rub off. Because he's that success story. Leafy touched him with the Midas touch, and then Leafy went. But all of his fans came from Leafy.
How much do you want to bet if I actually tag Onision in this, he's going to be like, where can I fucking copyright this?
We're going to get DMCA stricken.
How so? We didn't. We're not showing any pictures.
Yeah, but we said his name. He copyrighted his name.
Did I say Greg?
You just you fucked it up. Now we're done.
What's his last name? I'm not sure I know his last name. I only know his handle.
We're already in enough legal shit as it is.
No.
It's very easy.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to a YouTuber I wanted to talk about, Pro Jared. I think I mentioned it before. He had claims that he was sending dick pics to underage fans. He actually refuted it and said that the person who had said this was very, very mentally ill, which was true. And then that person themselves admitted that they had made the entire thing up. And the wife, his ex-wife, who was actually in a poly relationship, Jared never cheated on her. They were going through a divorce anyway. And they were divorced. Holly and Ross from Game Grumps were divorced. So Jared actually went through, had a bunch of evidence, had some stuff saved, and was like, yo, this is what really happened. I'm not a fucking pedophile. I just want to get my shit back. He admitted to the shit he did wrong. He publicly apologized. And now he's making content again. And he's very, very slowly. He's actually gained 1 million subscribers back, or back to 1 million subscribers. He was down to like 70-something thousand from like 1.3 million.
I remember Pro Jared, who got me into this game called Haven and Hearth, one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Before they did their update, of course. Haven and Hearth was the shit. I'd recommend it to anybody. But that game, you have to dedicate time to it because it's no joke. But Pro Jared, I
forgot to mention. You know, we got to get back to video games that are art, and sometimes, you know, I want No, dude, I want a video game that's art, but I think I finally found it. And for people who don't know, I'm on my phone right now, and when you're on your phone and you want a good gaming experience,
Don't you dare.
You gotta choose Raid Shadow Legends.
I swear to God, Jeff, I will leave this conversation right now.
No, fuck that shit.
I would rather watch Jeff play Resident Evil 5.
What if they get what if this gets like a lot of fucking fame and then Raid Shadow Legends is like, please don't talk shit on our video. In fact, we'll sponsor you. What if I have to shout out Raid Shadow Legends in the future?
No, then we see the fucking paycheck and it's like, well, I needed a new house.
And that's what I'm saying. Am I really going to turn down a sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends? Probably not. That being said, though, I have played the game, and I'm not a fan. So I really hope.
Well, besides every single YouTuber being like, Raid Shadow Legends, I have not heard one single person actually talk about the game.
Oh, dude, Mitten Squad, he is a good-ass YouTuber. He fucking actually, he goes
This
on.
video is sponsored by nothing because I don't endorse garbage on my channel, and it would have
Yeah.
Legends in a trash. So my stance on it is the same as like any other YouTuber that endorses it. It's like, okay, I'm being given all this money for a stupid ass mobile game. Yeah, sure, play it. If you give them all your money, that's natural selection. You didn't deserve it anyway. If you don't like it, uninstall it. But I'm getting my new house.
My favorite thing is it's like, if you look at Raid Shadow Legends on the like actual download page, it's like 10 million plus have downloaded this, and all the reviews are like, this game sucks. But it has like 4.8 stars, and it's like, the reviews are like, one of the best games of all time. A single-handed experience where you and many other friends can collide and this, that, and the other thing. And then it's like, all the reviews coming from people who aren't from like big names are like, this game is awful. Like, it's full of ads. It's awful. I can't get through the first fucking thing because it wants me to like pay money for a soldier that I can't have.
I gotta say, Raid Shadow Legends is art. It's an art of social engineering, because whoever did this, they're very smart with marketing, and they're probably testing a theory that if you put money in the right place to spread a product, you're going to get returns. it doesn't matter. Like what matters is the installs, because once you install it, you're probably facing an ad, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Like they probably did this. They probably said, let's make a subpar game, and then let's put the rest of our money towards advertising. We'll put like 60% of our money towards advertising, and we will spend all of it, giving chunks of it to YouTubers, random, big, small.
It just gets bigger and bigger because as you endorse a popular YouTuber, their fan base